Prepare to step into a world where imagination knows no bounds as we present Legends, Loot, and Lore. Join your hosts, Andrew and Joe, the dice-rolling dynamic duo who will guide you every step of the way into the realm of Dungeons & Dragons. From crafting narratives to character creation, this podcast is your gateway to becoming the hero of your own story. Whether you're a new adventurer or a seasoned traveler seeking new insights, Legends, Loot, and Lore has something for everyone. After the episode, visit our website at www.legendslootandlore.com for even more resources and exclusive content. And if you're as passionate about this adventure as we are, help support our quest at legendslootandlore.supercast.com. Embark on this odyssey with us and let the echoes of ancient tales guide you toward a destiny filled with limitless possibilities. Roll for initiative, because your adventure begins now.
Joining Legends, Loot, and Lore today is April Stallings from Make-A-Wish International, and we're going to talk about the fantastic program that they are going to be running, I think, through correct me if I'm wrong, through the month of October, correct?
Correct.
Called Roll for Wishes. So April has been in nonprofit work I'll let her give her own background, but she's been a nonprofit for about 20 plus years, has been a lifelong gamer, and has now kind of combined those two passions into one here. So April, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for being here today.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm so excited to talk about all things Make-A-Wish International and Roll for Wishes.
Wonderful. I can't wait. So give us a little bit of your background and tell us about kind of how you got to where you are today, and talk a little bit about Roll for Wishes.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. So my background. Oh gosh. Yeah. So like you had said, I have been in nonprofit for over 20 years, started right out of university, very kind of winding road and journey. Right now I am very happily working with and for Make-A-Wish International, which is the global branch of Make-A-Wish. So we're responsible for wish granting around the world. So, but I've done bird conservation and habitat preservation. I've done at-risk youth homelessness work, and now I'm luckily for the past 6 years combined, I've worked for Make-A-Wish Canada and Make-A-Wish International, creating the magic of wishes around the world.
That's absolutely fantastic. So dive a little deeper, if you would, into for those that may not be familiar with what Make-A-Wish is. I think most people are, but kind of give, they may have a limited view as to what Make-A-Wish does. So maybe you can kind of just expand on that and tell what all the things that Make-A-Wish is involved with.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people in general are aware of what Make-A-Wish does, which is grant wishes to children who are living with critical illnesses around the world. But I think there's a bit of not a misunderstanding, but I think there's a bit of lack of knowledge about what a wish does for a child and how it works. So if it's okay, I'll talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely.
So Make-A-Wish International, we're basically responsible for all the wish granting outside of America. And then Make-A-Wish America is responsible for the wish granting within America. And a lot of people think, that a wish is just, kind of this one day where we swing by and we give a child something or whatever. But that's not actually how a wish is structured or planned or how it works even. So what we do is we design what we call the wish journey, which sort of complements a child's physical medical treatment, right? So we design it so that at their low moments, they get these things we call wish boosts that really help them rally mentally and physically. And the journey is just kind of an ongoing thing that culminates in the wish, right? And then, there's also what we call the wish effect, which is sort of the long-term mental and physical health benefits that a wish helps generate and continues on even after the day of the wish. So it really is kind of a process and a reconnection to their childhood that we offer a child, a real mental health support that they get while in hospital, out of hospital, whatever their situation is. So yeah, that's what we do. And I'm pretty proud of it. We granted 17,000 wishes last year at Make-A-Wish International, and we're on track to grant close to
Wow.
20,000. Yeah, we're on track to grant close to 20,000 this year. So very excited.
That's absolutely fantastic. I had again, I'm aware of Make-A-Wish and what Make-A-Wish does, but I didn't realize the 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 kind of the reach that it had.
Yeah.
That's a tremendous amount of wishes. Now, how many countries does Make-A-Wish International operate
Oh,
in globally?
yeah, absolutely. So we can be found in 40 countries globally. And some of our countries do sort of double geographic reach. So we actually grant wishes in over 50 countries, depending on where you are. And then, of course, Make a Wish America has all 50 states, which sometime within each state there
Right.
can be multiple offices granting wishes, depending on the need and the density of the population and all that good stuff. So yeah, we do really, really good work, and we help as many children as possible. But even with that global reach, we know that there are children all over the world that we're still not reaching. So that's always the goal that we're striving towards, is to grant the wish of every eligible child, no matter where they live in the world.
That's absolutely fantastic. That's such a it's such a tremendous organization and ability to um, grant the wishes for children, because it's got to be a difficult situation for the child, and to be able just to kind of give them that kind of big gift is just an amazing benefit. Like you said, there's tremendous benefits beyond just the initial gift giving itself. So that's absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely. I mean, one thing we know is that childhood illness will absolutely destroy childhood. And it's our job to restore that and give that back. That's how we see it. And, the benefits of that to the child, to their family, to their community, is something that we are super proud of. And I tell you, it's very much a core mission and purpose in my life.
That's wonderful. So you describe yourself as a lifelong gamer. So we've talked a little bit about your professional career. So talk to us a little bit about your background as a lifelong gamer. I know what you've told me in your bio and things like that. That I don't want to. I'll let you go into it, but tell us a little bit about your background so we can tie all these loose ends together and figure out how Make a Wish came up with Roll for Wishes, and how it all ties together. So tell us your background story as a gamer.
I'm going to date myself a little bit with this story, but that's okay. So when I was a kid, my dad owned my dad was kind of a chronic entrepreneur. He was always starting something new, which definitely had its ups and downs, but this was definitely one of the ups. So my dad had
Oh, so there's a lot of upside for you, probably for you, right?
yeah. So my dad had the first coin operated arcade in our town, our small town. And this was during the time when cabinets were first coming out. And when I say cabinets, I mean like the games that he had on the floor were things like pole position, with the pedals and the shift and Miss
Oh yeah.
Pac-Man, yeah, and kind of the first generation of cabinet machines, arcade machines. And so, it was called Wizard World. That was the name of it. And at
Very
nighttime,
cool.
yeah, it was good stuff. And at nighttime, when he would be doing the books or whatever, he would turn the machines to free play for us. He'd just go around and hit a few switches, and my two sisters and I would just like go to town, right? I mean, we had like, constant access to these machines, without having to feed it quarters all the time. So,
Oh man, that's
um,
my dream.
yeah, I know. It was pretty good. And then of course, as home consoles became more and more popular and everything, like I'm still playing like to this day. It's something that my child and I bonded over when he was younger and even now. And it really is, kind of a hobby that lets me disconnect, from the world. And then from a social setting, I very much enjoy board game nights with friends and family and things like that. So I think games are amazingly important to people. And I think for our wish children, they are especially important. A lot of them used gaming to get through the pandemic. Um,
Hmm.
And even now they use, online gaming to stay connected socially when they're having to isolate because of compromised immune systems or whatever. It's such a lifeline for so many people. And I love that I get to work in this space every day.
That's absolutely that's great. I didn't. Yeah, I think about how much gaming has grown and become an online platform with Discord and Twitch and things like that. I mean, it really has become an online community. I mean, I remember like the early days of like networked computer games and things like that. But
Yeah. LAN parties. Yeah.
yes, exactly. Oh my God, now you're talking my language.
Yep.
Yes. So let me ask this question. So do you have any favorite games currently? Any board
Oh.
games, video games, tabletop? What are you? Is there anything you're currently playing?
Yeah, absolutely. My favorite probably series of all time would be the Horizon series with Aloy as the main
Hmm.
protagonist. The storytelling and the world building in that one blows my mind. Mechanical dinosaurs, mechanical animal, like it's just God, the lore of it's just amazing to me. And she's such a cool protagonist to play. Love that series. If we're talking computer games. And for a cozy gaming kind of perspective, like I have to confess, I don't do online gaming. Like to me,
Hmm.
gaming is about disconnecting and not having to talk to anybody. So that's what I use it for. So my cozy gaming comfort game right now is Disney Dreamlight Valley. Like I play that a lot right now too. So yeah, that's kind of my go.
Disney Dreamlight. What platform is that on?
It's on all the platforms. You'll find
Oh,
it.
is it really?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Oh
done
boy,
by oh gosh, I think it's GameStop that does it, and it's really really well done. And I mean, it's not for everybody, but it's a bit of like, well, I mean, it's cozy gaming. It's no pressure kind of game. So yeah.
that's great. Yeah. So yeah, sometimes we just need that decompression and just kind
Yep.
of mindless gaming that can be a lot of fun. Yeah,
Yeah. Exactly.
like I mean, as you know, I'm a big D&D guy, so I
Yeah.
love D&D. I've gotten into Baldur's Gate 3 now,
Huge.
so that's
Yeah. It's
that's
so
that's kind of
big.
my it's incredible.
Hmm.
It's just absolutely amazing. But so okay, so let's talk about so you that there's your background
Hmm.
as a gamer, your your nonprofit work. So tell us the inspiration behind this, or tell us what Roll for Wishes is, and talk a little bit about the inspiration behind it and how that whole program came into existence.
Yeah, absolutely. So, um, I guess I'll talk a little bit about my role at Make-A-Wish International, which I don't think I've really
Sure.
clarified for your listeners at
Perfect.
all. They have no idea who I am there. But kind of what my responsibility is, one of the things that happened during the pandemic was we realized that we relied far too much on in-person fundraising events, right? Galas and charity walks and charity runs and things like that. And my role was kind of created to offer a little bit more fundraising resiliency around the world in the space of gaming and live streaming and charity streaming, right? So I was kind of brought on board at Make a Wish International to run events like Roll for Wishes, but also to teach our affiliates and to help them and support them as they learn how to navigate the space and be part of it. So yeah, so that's kind of what I do. So which is super fun. Like I love it. It's great, and every day is different, and all of that good stuff. So Roll for Wishes, one of the things that I became aware of very early on when I started fundraising in this space was how active the tabletop gaming world is in the Discord community and on Twitch and YouTube and platforms like that. And then also, of course, in real life, like
Hmm.
it's such a social thing, and also how incredibly giving they are too, and how incredibly connected they feel to our mission, which has been really really cool to see. I mean, we don't grant a lot of D&D wishes. We've done a few where I want to go on my favorite podcast and things like that, but I can't name any names. But yeah, and it just kind of it started with a small event that we had, gosh, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, when I was still working for
Hmm.
Make a Wish Canada. And now, I was like, we need to capture this globally. So last year was a test event for us, and it did really well. It raised around $10,000, which for a first year of any kind of live event, I'm very excited about. But it was mainly, it was very like geographically kind of focused and things like that. And now I'm really interested in this year. getting the word out. So doing things like coming on your podcast and talking about it.
Yes.
But also letting people, geographically getting more countries, more affiliates involved. And that is something that definitely looks like it's shaping up to happen this year. So I'm very excited about that.
Wonderful. So tell us that's great. That's a great background. It's very exciting. So tell us what Roll for Wishes is.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and let's talk a little bit about that. And so it's kind of been in kind of the gestation phase for a few years, and last year was the first year kicked off. So what is it really? And let's talk about how people can get involved in it this year.
So what it really is it's just kind of a ready-made way for the tabletop gaming community to engage and participate in helping to fundraise for wishes. So it's pretty straightforward and it's pretty accessible, I hope, in that no matter what their preferred platform is, whether we're talking a board game cafe, whether we're talking, a Discord server where games are role played out there, or again, online or a live stream, that they can, download kind of our guidelines, our toolkit, everything like that, and they can just flat out go for it in October, right? They can do whatever they want. It doesn't have to be D&D. It can be really it can be anything really. We've got a lot of different campaigns with a lot of different systems and sort of world building happening. So really, it's just an organized moment for them to celebrate and be part of something and help grant wishes and feel like they're, connecting with an even larger community than the one they already, play with and exist within. It's really a chance for them to shine. At least that's my hope, is that they feel like they're shining and doing something really good for kids who deserve and need it and are likely to be part of their community. Like, these kids are likely to be their peers and their fans and the people who watch them and listen to them and maybe one day even play with them. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the idea. So it's a month-long campaign. The name is super fun because, instead of roll for charisma or roll for, initiative or whatever we're rolling for, we really want you to roll for wishes during the month of October.
Right.
October's a fun month, with Halloween and, kind of that fall, vibe that's starting to happen for everybody, hopefully. Knock on wood. I think we're all a little tired of summer at this point, but
Absolutely.
yeah, it's kind of, our event saying, hey guys, we know you're out there. We know you're good, loving people who want to do good things in the world, and opening the door for them to do it for someone that they trust. I think the fact that we're so trusted around the world will hopefully make people feel like they are trusting their dollars and their donations and their time with the right people.
Wonderful. Yeah, I think I'm super excited. We as a podcast are getting involved.
Thank you.
I'm really excited because I think I'm in the process of building a campaign that we might try to test.
Nice.
and play for this. So we'll see. We're gonna come up with something for the month of October. But yeah, we're definitely helping to raise funds. So anybody else out there who wants to get involved and raise funds, so tell us about how what makes them. This was the one question I had. What makes them so unique and kind of as a what makes them a unique and kind of powerful tool for fundraising purposes?
You mean D&D players or tabletop
Yeah.
gamers? Oh,
Like tabletop gamers.
I think there is a kind of fundamental aligning of values and ideals when it comes to tabletop gaming and wishes, right? Because wishes are all about a child's creativity, right? We tell them the sky's the limit. Let's think big. Let's take a deep dive into your limitless imagination, and we're going to use that to overcome this really horrible thing that has happened to you and that your family and you are going through, right? It's all about stepping outside of the reality that they are living in and really engaging with their imagination and their dreams. And if there is something that I have discovered that tabletop gaming is absolutely about, it is unlimited imagination. And really just, kind of like being this other person outside of your own reality that you can, really, really put on the I don't want to say the skin of, that sounds gross, but you can really put on this persona, and you can become
Right.
this person. And I think there's sort of a fundamental aligning of what both of these things are about. And like I said, I mean, I think sort of tabletop gamers in general are some of the kindest, most generous, most welcoming and accepting people. Like, I know there's some toxicity out there, but I've found that it's,
As with everything.
yeah, with everything, right? But it's not, I mean, gosh, it's not like we're sitting in a Call of Duty lobby or something like that, right? Like, I mean, there's
Right.
some, it's such a wholesome, welcoming community. And I was like, those are people I want to know, and those are people I want to talk to about what we do. And it was pretty cool that I just kind of got to like take the idea and create it. Like, I love that about Make-A-Wish International, is that like innovate, 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 connect with
Mm-hmm.
people, find the audience that you think is going to be passionate about what we do. And I think I found the right people so far for this. Like, I think it's good stuff.
Wonderful. I'm super excited to be a part of it. And so you're absolutely right. I see a lot. I see a lot of correlation between what Make a Wish does and kind of what D&D is. It's really it was really interesting. If you get a chance to the episode that actually just that went live today,
Okay.
we spoke with a psychologist, doctor, and an educator about the psychological benefits that playing D&D has, like using D&D in therapy and using D&D in education
I
to
love that.
teach skills and things like that. And so I think there's probably a lot of therapeutic benefit for the children who are dealing with these severe diseases and things like that. That,
Mhm.
like you said, you can kind of put on a persona, and it's not you. You can be the big paladin, the big strong paladin, and
Yeah.
and defeat enemies. Even if you're sitting in a hospital bed. So I think it's like, I think there's a lot of tremendous benefit that playing those types of games that can really have for those children. So I think it's a fantastic combination of, um, like you said, how welcoming and the D&D and tabletop role playing community is, and an organization like Make a Wish. So that's really tremendous. I'm super excited. I'm
Yeah.
like I said, I'm really trying to rack my brain to figure out what we're gonna do, but we're either way we're still gonna fundraise, because I'm going to keep talking about it over the whole month. It's just such a tremendous program. I'm a big fan of of the Make a Wish organization. They do so many good things, because I'm also a big Disney nerd. So I know, like I know there's always kids and families going to Disney World. So it's nice that my D&D side can also help in that aspect.
Awesome. No, I absolutely love it. I'm excited to see how you're our first podcast who's participated in the event too. I didn't mention that. So,
All right.
you're our first podcast fundraising group. So I'm excited to see how it will work in this like medium. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, it's just, any awareness that we can bring to Make a Wish and what they're doing is just tremendously exciting for me. So let's talk about that. So that we're involved with fundraising for Roll for Wishes. How can individuals, how can role playing communities get involved in the campaign? So how can they sign up? What are ways that they can fundraise? Let's talk about that. How do people get involved in this and help out?
Absolutely. I'll give you the link to the registration page to put in the show notes, of course. But
Absolutely.
if people just can't wait for that, they can go to worldwish.org, which is Make-A-Wish International's main website. And then under the Get Involved drop down, you'll see charity fundraising, live stream charity fundraising. And you can go to that, and it's all there. The toolkit's there, the registration is there. And it'll take you to a donation portal where you'll get your own individual link that you can use to fundraise, so you can track your progress and all that good stuff. And again, you can use it if you're doing real life, if you're doing whatever. Just this link will let you send it to friends and family. They can donate directly. You don't have to handle all that troublesome cash that nobody likes to handle anymore. But yeah, and most importantly, you get examples of stories to share, things like that you can use to really express to people why what you're doing is so important and amazing. So, and then of course, I'm always available on our Discord server, which I'll give you the link for that in the show notes, and it's also on our website. There's a great little community there built up around this event, particularly, where people are sharing ideas and things like that. I think people are afraid of fundraising sometimes. They're afraid to ask. So, we've created a fun sort of suggestion sheet about ways to fundraise and encourage donations. Things like, hindering the campaign, helping the campaign,
Yes.
getting to name an NPC after yourself or a town. There's all sorts of ways to encourage donations. Like, the creativity is, you're creative, you're doing a tabletop game, so obviously you're a creative person. So just tap into that and come up with ways to encourage donations. And then it doesn't feel like such a chore for some people. Like, it doesn't feel like such a scary thing to ask for donations. It's really just believing in what we do and the cause that you're asking for. And it's also, making it fun for people to give and to interact with you and be part of things.
Wonderful. So what were some of the things that they did last year for Roll for Wishes? Was it mainly like Twitch streams, or what did they do last year to fundraise?
Oh gosh, it was probably half and half, I would say. So the only thing we were missing last year was some of our live stream events were real life events. But I would love to see someone just play their regular campaign and like ask friends and family and do like this is just what we normally do. We're not broadcasting or anything. I would love to make it more accessible to people who just are playing their game in person the way they normally do. So didn't have a lot of that last year. Tried to make that more accessible this year and emphasize it a little more. But last year, yeah, we had a great group called Legends of Logomancy, and they did we were on site at a board game cafe. I sat in. It was my first ever D&D, campaign that I sat in on. Thank goodness they were all former theater kids, because they definitely carried me throughout it. But they did live stream content creating fundraising. We had some other wonderful people doing that as well. And then we also had a lot of Discord activity as well. So on the Discord channels, what they did was if you donated, you got a chance to win a prize. If you donated, you got a special role in the server. I think one of them, if you donated, your like reaction GIF or emoji or whatever got to become one of the official ones for the server, things like that, right?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so they made it super fun that way. And
That's great.
Yeah, and then the live stream, of course, it was things like, everybody gets a magical item if you donate, X number of dollars and things like that. So it was really about interacting and being part of the campaign, even if you were a viewer at home, right? So I am so excited, like I said, to see how a podcast plays out in this, kind of forum and what you guys do. But yeah, the big thing is making it interactive, like making your donors feel like they are part of the event, and making it fun for them too.
That's great. That gives me some ideas, because like I said, I'm currently working on a homebrew campaign, and I need ideas for some NPCs and things like that. So maybe I'll try to do some fundraising and get people to name an NPC or create an NPC in my world if they donate to Roll for Wishes.
I will say, if people don't know where to start exactly, we do have some homebrew campaigns that were created last year that we've put in the toolkit as inspiration. Like, obviously you don't have to follow them to the letter, but they were really about granting the wishes of children in this, star-shaped magical realm, and
Hmm.
it was I think it's 3 modules that we have in there, and they were all very cool, and they were all about granting wishes. So it was pretty fun. And they're there as inspiration if anybody doesn't know where to start or what to think or how to do this.
That's great. That it's like you said, and you've got the Discord server, so there's some great conversation happening there on how you can get involved, how you can where to begin.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there's so many. I think that's the thing. There's so many ways that you can contribute. I mean, as a content creator, you can, like I said, do a live stream, do whatever, but that's great that you've got some jumping off points for people who may not know where to start, because like you said, this may be everybody's, a lot of people's first attempt at fundraising. So there's some great resources that you have to help that process along, which is wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the other things that people might be a little concerned about that I just want to let people know is, we're not asking you to change who your campaign is or how you normally play or anything like that. If you guys get a little like rowdy and fun, like we're not there to police that or try to change that. That's not the idea. So please don't worry
Right.
about that. We're not going to be like, the D&D hall monitors or the TTRPG hall monitors, although that'd be a great NPC. But I mean, yeah, no, we're not there to do that. We're not there to change how you would normally run things. So please don't even worry about that. Okay, like that's not a thing.
So last year you said you raised about what, $10,000,
Hmm.
and so what's your goal? What's your hope for this year's campaign project?
Our goal is to have 20 campaigns running, right? Is to have
Hmm.
20 podcasts, 20, real life events, 20 live streams, whatever signed up for the event. Last year I think we had 5. So
Hmm.
we're really just looking at kind of like incremental growth, slowly getting the word out kind of thing. And I think for year 2, that's a pretty reasonable goal. And we're hoping to raise around 50,000 US dollars for this event this year. And how that will work is once people register, they can choose what country they want to grant a wish in and where they want their donation dollars to go to. So that I think is kind of one of the really cool things about Make a Wish, is that we are global, and no matter where you are in the world, you can say this is where I want my money to go to.
Hmm.
So don't worry that you're going to be part of a campaign that's not going to make any impact in your own local home, because that's not the idea. The idea is to put those dollars where you are. So that's kind of the goal for this year. I would say don't feel like you have to go in there and set a really really high goal to make a difference. Don't feel like you have to go in there and say I'm going to raise $10,000. You don't have to do that. We want people to set realistic goals that they will feel good when they achieve. And if you hit your goal, great. Then you can increase it. You can try for a new goal. I mean, it's
Right.
not like you have to stop once you hit your $100 goal or whatever. But we really want people to not feel pressured to feel like they have to raise this amazing amount of money to make an impact, because that's not how this medium works. This is all about the collective community effort, is how this type of fundraising works, right? It's really about kind of crowdfunding a wish, essentially. So, please, if any of you are considering doing this, please don't feel like you have to, come up with something that's scary as a goal. We want you to do something that you feel comfortable with
Right.
and that you feel you can achieve.
That's great. There are, so we do have this is a great thing to point out, going back to how many countries that this can support, because we do have quite a few international listeners to the
Mhm.
podcast, so that's great to know that they can choose what country their funds go to. So
Yeah. So the
whether it's their home
listeners,
country or
oh, sorry.
elsewhere. No, that's all right. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the listeners can't really choose, like, but what we do is when it's a listener and they donate, we get their country of origin as part of the
Hmm.
information, because they can donate through credit card or PayPal. We get their country of origin, and then we take that, and that's where we direct the funds. So, yeah. So that's kind of how
Perfect.
that works. And then, of course, the people who are actually fundraising, like yourself, can say, I want my funds to go either international, wherever you need it the most, or I want it to go to the
Right.
specific country.
Excellent. That's great. Yeah, don't mind these cats behind me. They're just,
I know. They're so entertaining. I love it. And if you
oh
can hear
my
my dog
goodness.
snoring on my side of things, if you can hear my very loud dog snoring, I'm so sorry to everybody. She is
This is they're either running around like crazy or out cold asleep. They just operate on two
there's no
modes.
happy medium, huh?
Not at all. Not at all.
Pets.
Um, yes, I love them to death.
Exactly.
Um, what? So in preparation, because this is we're in
Mm.
kind of mid September recording this, but this will probably go out right at the beginning of October. This will be live right at the beginning of October. So what kind of things should we expect for the month of October from Make a Wish in supporting this? Like, what's coming down?
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
Most importantly, we'll send you a T-shirt if you sign up. As part of our kind of marketing for it, we want to make sure that as many people as possible are representing the Make-A-Wish colors during
All
their
right.
events and everything. So if you get signed up in time, which I would say probably in the next week or so, you'd want to commit and do that. We'll send you some codes to your campaign team so you can redeem those and get yourself some pretty cool swag. So then you can, look official and branded and all that good stuff. Like I said,
Wonderful.
there is a toolkit. There's a toolkit that exists that has, logos and overlays if you're doing stuff online. It has donation alerts if you're doing stuff online. And then, of course, it has those homebrew modules that you can use as inspiration. It has wish stories, things like that. So we've really tried to make this as easy as possible for you. It's got tip sheets on how to fundraise, talking points or how to talk about Make-A-Wish and what we do. Some video links, all sorts of cool stuff there. And then, of course, what we are asking is once people register that they send us their avatars, their artwork, their groups, headshots, whatever, however you use to promote yourself if you're doing this
Hmm.
in a, semi-serious kind of way. And we'll be promoting it on our social media channels and everything throughout the month, along with your donation link. So we really are trying to be as helpful and supportive as possible. And really just kind of, we're going to do like a quick little press release out to some of the tabletop gaming, magazines and stuff like that. So yeah, we're really trying to, like I said, this is all about growth this year. This is all about getting the word out. I really do think one day this can be a huge powerhouse fundraising event for us because I believe in this community.
That's great. So, if anybody listening is not necessarily just a D&D player, but maybe you've got your D&D group as well that you want to join, by all means. Again, we'll have all the links in the show notes for if you want to donate, if you want to participate, we'll have all of that for you. So it's just such a fantastic cause, trying to get up to 20 groups and raise $50,000. So that's a great goal. I think that's very, very doable, I think, right?
I think so. I hope so.
So let me ask this question. So to put those dollars into kind of real world action,
Mm.
what does that translate to as far as granting wishes are for children? Like
Yeah.
how far does that $50,000 go?
That is a question that we always struggle with because we are global, right? So,
Right. Yeah.
the inflation and the valuation of dollars and things like that, it's hard to say what the average cost of a wish is, right? But,
Hmm.
I can tell you like in India, the average cost of a wish is around $250, $350, right? So, if you apply that 10,000 to that scale, that's a lot of wishes.
Right.
But then when you get into some of the more like economically, I guess, developed parts of the world, without sounding like India isn't doing amazing things. I mean, they just landed a thing, a thing on the dark side of the moon, which was incredible, right? So,
Absolutely.
without sounding like, trying to undervalue the achievements in the economy of India. But if you go to like a country like, let's say Canada, right, where,
Right.
things can be more expensive and wishes can be a little more tied into, sort of the brands and things like that, right? Like a shopping wish or whatever. So,
Right.
the average cost of a wish there can be, thousands of dollars. So it just depends. I know I'm not answering this very straight. I'm so sorry.
No, but it's a very good point.
Yeah, but if people are interested in what their country, what a wish looks like in their country, what the average cost is, I would encourage them to Google Make a Wish and then put the name of your country in there. And each one of our affiliates has a website that you can look at, and they kind of report those sorts of numbers and things on there. So it's a really hard thing to quantify at a global level, but at the actual country and affiliate level, they can definitely see what that looks like.
That's great. And I guess to put it basically, it'll grant quite a few wishes
Quite a few wishes, yes. It will
across
make
the
an
globe.
impact.
But
100%.
absolutely, it'll make a that it's in and again, depending on the country, $50,000 could seem like a lot or a little, but it will have a tremendous impact on the lives of children globally, and that's
100%.
that's what I think is one of the great things about this campaign.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm so
Um,
excited. Thanks for having me on and talking about this. I'm so excited about it.
so am I. I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
I think like I said, I can't say enough how what a tremendous program I think this is. Is there anything else that people should know about Roll for Wishes or Make a Wish International in general? Because again, there's let's be clear, there's Make a Wish America,
Yes.
so which is where a good portion of our listeners are, but Make a Wish
Mhm.
International is the one that is fundraising for Roll for Wishes. So this is what are there any countries in particular that are in more need for wishes
Oh,
or
well, I will say we've had a lot of our countries have had some rough years from a disaster standpoint and things like that. I
Mhm.
mean, obviously, we all remember the earthquake in Turkey earlier this year.
Right,
Make a Wish Turkey did an amazing thing post earthquake where they loaded up a couple of trucks with supplies and wishes for the children living in the affected region, and they spent a week going through that region delivering those things to wish children. And of course, our Make a Wish Greece affiliate, there was huge fires across Greece earlier this
right,
year that actually impacted a couple of Wish families who were visiting from other parts of the world. So Make a Wish Greece did a great job stepping up and taking care of those people and taking care of those Wish families. Um, a lot of our affiliates, kind of in Latin America and in sort of Southern Europe, Southern Asia are really impacted by inflation right now and sort of the cost of living crisis. So granting
mhm,
wishes is becoming like more and more expensive for them right now. So
sure,
I think it's really just, fundraise where your heart is, or trust us to sort of, delegate those funds to where they're needed the most. But you can pick any of those countries, right? Whether you are an expat who's living somewhere but your heart is still back home, or whatever. I mean, like I
yes,
said, that's the beauty of us, is that we promise you around the world that we are taking care of your donations, we are taking care of your dollars, we are dotting the i's, crossing the t's, making an impact. And you can trust us because we've been doing it for 43 years. So um, I think there's a lot of us doing really, really good work, but it's definitely been a challenging year across the board.
that's a good point to make. So again, so for those who are thinking about starting a group to donate to Make a Wish International for Roll for Wishes. So the fundraising group themselves can choose the country to which the funds go.
Absolutely.
Um, so we as Legends of Loot and Lore are doing it to Make a Wish International in general. We haven't specified a country, but if you're a group out there that wants to fundraise for Make a Wish International, and again you've got a soft spot for a particular country, you can
Yes.
choose that country and raise funds specifically for children in that country. So there's some great opportunity there as far as that's concerned. That's wonderful.
Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty proud of. I'm not proud. I'm not drinking it. I'm not drinking
It's,
at
it's
8 in the
early.
morning. I'm pretty proud of our global reach and how we can help people be part of this global event, but also make a difference at home.
Wonderful. Thank you, April. Thank you so much for being here on the podcast and talking about this. I'm excited. I can tell, you're very excited about this. You're very passionate about this program. So is there, you have any parting words for our listeners who are either thinking about maybe donating or thinking about participating?
Yeah, I mean, reach out to me. Like I am, I'm on our Discord server, so you'll find me there. Absolutely. So just click on that in the show notes and come find me. If you're not a Discord person, I'll gladly share my email as well for people like here to help, here to create and, sort of innovate on this. So, we welcome you adding your home brews to our sort of library of content and all of that. We want your input. We want you to be part of this. We want you to help it grow year over year. And if this month isn't your month, or if October isn't your month to do this, this isn't something that we're just like, okay, no, you can't do this at any other point during the year. This is just the month where we feature it and highlight it. So, if the timing's not right for you, don't feel like you can't do this another time. We're still here to help. We're still going to be excited about it. We're still going to be rooting for you and cheering you on. So absolutely, just reach out to me and we can talk through any questions or problems that you have.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. Again, April Stallings from Make-A-Wish International. I appreciate you being up early this morning with us and talking. And again, the program is called Roll for Wishes. So you'll see all the links and information in the show notes. Legends, Loot, and Lore will be doing something in the month of October, so be on the lookout for that. We're also just fundraising in general, so we'll put our fundraising link in the show notes if you want to contribute there. And again, hopefully you have a great month, and we'll catch up and follow up at the end of October.
I love that idea. Yeah, let's do that. Absolutely.
Great. Thank you again, April.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Legends, Loot, and Lore. We hope you've enjoyed immersing yourself in the realms of legends, uncovering hidden loot, and delving into captivating lore. But the journey doesn't end here. For exclusive content, behind-the-scenes insights, and access to our community, visit legendslootandlore.supercast.com. There you'll be able to support the podcast, where you can join our Discord server for lively discussions and subscriber-only content, and connect with fellow enthusiasts. Stay connected with us on Instagram and Facebook at Legends, Loot, and Lore to continue on the quest. By following our social media channels, you'll be the first to know about upcoming episodes, bonus content, and exciting announcements. If you've enjoyed your time with us, we kindly ask you to rate and subscribe to this podcast. Your support means the world to us and helps us continue producing captivating episodes and embarking on new quests. Thank you for being a part of our journey. We're thrilled to have you by our side as we unravel the legends, uncover the loot, and delve deeper into the lore. Until next time.